The basic approach to perform energy balance in a furnace is through what we have a term called as a theoretical flame temperature. So what is it? So the theoretical flame temperature is the maximum temperature that can be achieved when a fuel is burned in air or in oxygen without losing or gain of heat. So what happened is that basically the idea is that to be without losing the heat means that there is no heat. Without losing or gain the heat basically means you have you have an adiabatic combustion. So what is adiabatic combustion is that the heat that you produce so from the fuel is basically used to increase the temperature of any gas that you produce from the combustion, including the air that goes in. So you can see here, as you can see here, that this curve showing the graphical description about what happened in the combustion. So the heat from fuel, okay, the heat from fuel is provided. So it's from this point to this point. Okay, heat from the fuel. Okay, that's basically the total heat that you can generate from the furnace. So out of the total heat that we generate from the furnace, part of the heat will be lost. Okay, part of the heat will be lost, um, and then uh, part of the heat is uh, able to be recovered for the usage in the process. So to calculate the heat release from the combustion, uh, we use the theoretical flame temperature concept and apply the Hess law. Basically, the Hess law said that the enthalpy change from initial to the final state is independent of the path. So here is the simplified version of the combustion reaction in the furnace. Basically, we have fuel and air entering the furnace at temperature inlet. So we have a delta H of combustion. Then in an adiabatic process, we will have a combustion product, carbon dioxide, water, nitrogen, and so on, reaching a temperature of the maximum temperature, which is the theoretical flame temperature. So we can see this process as a multi-step processes. Okay, uh, the way to do it is first that uh, we bring because we will the combustion data, we will use the standard combustion, and then the fuel and air can enter the furnace at any temperature. So first of all, to be able to use the standard heat of combustion, we bring whatever the fuel and air to the standard temperature. So basically this is the step number one. Let's say it's a delta H1. Basically it's quite simple. It is integration of from T inlet to the standard temperature, Cp average delta T. You bring it to this condition, and then we perform the combustion. So and during the combustion we have a delta H2, which is heat of standard combustion of any fuel we use. So basically now we have a product at the reaction at the standard condition, and lastly we need to bring all of the product condition to the theoretical flame temperature, which is basically apply a simple equation delta H3 equal to integration from T standard to the temperature flame Cp delta T. So from the Hess law, so we can write that the overall delta heat of combustion here, delta Hc, equal to delta H1 plus delta H2 plus delta H3. So remember that for adiabatic combustion, delta Hc equal to 0. By using this equation, we will be able to estimate what will be the theoretical flame temperature of a furnace for burning with certain fuel. So if you look into the previous equation, delta H2, which is delta H combustion, the value for combustion of typical fuels here, this is a carbon, sulfur, CO, hydrogen, methane, and so on, can be seen in this table. But if you want to have more detail, you can check chemicals and physical properties table as well, and also will be provided in the website. Okay, so how to calculate the delta H1 and delta H3 where we involve CV. So first of all, heat capacity varies significantly as function of temperature. So typically we'll have some set of equation to estimate the Cp as function of temperature, but to simplify in the designing of furnace, we use the average Cv at given temperature. So delta H1 then can be simplified as the sum of all mole of each fraction multiplied by the Cp integration from temperature of inlet to the temperature of the standard. Okay, these slides show you an example of mean heat capacity of selected gases that normally involve in the combustion reaction. More detail of the CP. CP data can be found in the chemical properties data. You can go to the Paris Handbook of Chemical Engineering, or if you some of the information also provided as the supplementary of this teaching material.